Hi, my name is Tim Stefanich and I'm the environmental engineer at the water purification plant, and we are here today to talk to you about rain barrels. A rain barrel is a water collection system where we collect water that runs off your roof, either of your house, your garage, maybe your shed. It collects in the barrel, and you can then utilize that water at a later date to water your plants, your garden, maybe a small portion of your lawn that tends to get dried out periodically. Rain barrels, or the actual barrel itself, it's generally try to get a plastic barrel made out of recycled material. The barrel should be used with a food grade material that was inside of it. Try not to get one that had chemicals in it because you don't want to damage your plants. Rain barrels, or the actual barrel itself, can be gotten from any type of hardware store. Call up the hardware store and actually find out if they have one there for you. Some of them may have them already made. Some of them may look like this, where you have to do the construction yourself. This is the rain barrel that we have. It's a 55-gallon plastic drum. You can get the plastic drum from a local hardware store. Call them to see if they have them. Some of them may have rain barrel, or a barrel just like this, that is you have to prep yourself, cut the holes, or you can get one from the hardware store that is actually already set to go. All of the fittings are on it, and all you have to do is just cut your downspouts from your roof. First thing that we do is we will cut the holes. There are several holes that we have to cut. One is the influent hole into the top of the barrel. The second one is for the spigot towards the bottom, where you can take the water out of the barrel. And then the third one is the overflow. When we cut the holes for the rain barrel, you want to make sure you have all of the equipment purchased prior to, so you know what size holes you want to drill. What we use for the overflow is a 3-inch 90-degree angle PVC and that will go on the outside of the barrel. This is the bushing on the inside that will go inside the barrel and then just connect together to hold that overflow inside the barrel. On the top of the barrel, we have what's called an atrium. Normally the atrium on top of a building is installed this way. We actually install the atrium upside down. This is for the influent on the top of the barrel, where the rainwater from your gutter and your downspout will enter into the barrel itself. And it's sort of like a trash rack to keep the leaves and the twigs and stuff out of the barrel. Normally you can pick up an atrium from any local hardware store. Then we have a threaded spigot that we use, threaded on both ends. This one will thread into the side of the barrel itself, and then the threading on the outside is for your garden hose when you're done with your barrel. One thing is, you want to make sure you clean out the inside. We used a power washer. You can use your garden hose, whatever you want. You can clean out the inside, spray it down really well, rinse it out several times. If you want to paint your rain barrel, you want to make sure you clean off the outside, take all the dirt, the grease, the oils off. We will tend to wipe it down with a alcohol wipe. And then sometimes you can sand it down to get the paint to adhere a little bit better, and then you can apply the paint to the outside. The types of paint that we use, there are several different manufacturers of paint, but the thing that you want to make sure is that it is for plastic. They tend to adhere a little bit better to the plastic barrel, so make sure that as the paint that you purchase is for plastic, and it comes in many, many different colors. And this is basically just the primer color that we use. You can just prime it and that's good enough, or if after that you can then paint several designs on it if you would like. Then after you get done with painting it, then we suggest to put a clear coat on the outside to help protect whatever color or design you have painted on your barrel. And again, there are different manufacturers that provide different types of paint that you can use. Here we have the final primed barrel. It's all ready to be painted, and so I will turn that over now to Steve Randall of the City Planning Department, where he will show you how to paint a nice picture on the outside of the barrel.
This is Steve Randall. I'm an employee of the City of Sioux Falls. I work in the planning department as an urban planner, and I paint rain barrels. The barrel comes to us primed. It's kind of a light medium blue color, and as you look at the barrel here, we've started to lay out a design that we want to paint on the barrel. A lot of people will go to the internet and look for designs, or if they don't have a design in mind. One example is a barrel that's been painted the same color as the side of a house. And then they added some rose mulling, which was kind of interesting. Just a technique that they probably know how to use in painting a barrel. Another barrel here is one with bright colors. Doesn't really fit in with the side of the house, but they want it to stand out in a garden scene, so they painted bright flowers, butterflies and things like that. Another example is you could find is maybe a painting that you like or a photograph. You could actually make that into a model for the painting that you're going to do on the barrel. I did that here, took the photograph and actually made something in the shape of a barrel so that I could see how it was going to be put onto the pattern would fit onto the barrel. You can actually hold it up next to the barrel in terms of scale. If you bring the model closer to the camera, you can see how the pattern would transfer to the barrel. You just pick up a piece of chalk, draw the petals on the barrel there, and you can see where you're going to put your paint. Some of the paints that we use, you can pick up at a hobby shop or an art supply if maybe you have some old paint in the storage bin that you'd like to use up. We use acrylics because that seems to preserve pretty good. Here's an old tube of white. You can get the different sizes of paint to use. It doesn't take a whole lot of paint because acrylic thins out with water. You can go to the hobby shop and maybe you have some hobby supplies that you've already been using, and that works pretty good. That plus a jar of water and you're ready to go. Well, we'll roll up our sleeves and get to work. I've mixed up some, or put some paint out on a palette here. You can just use a paper plate or whatever, and you've got a jar of water. You've got your design kind of figured out, and so we're going to work from dark to light. I'll mix up some colors here, mixing some blue and some red and some yellow. This is an abstract design, so what I've mixed up here is actually a brown. And the brown is going to be the start of some petals that go out from the flower. Very abstract shape. We're still looking at our concept plan for showing how the flowers are going to be painted on there. And if you get a closer look at that, how the petals actually use a lot of colors, different colors in there. So as I kind of mix that up as I go, you get the basic petal shape coming out from the sunflower. And you get a darker base, and then you can throw some lighter color over the top of that. So as you work your way around the barrel that way, you can see how it starts to take shape. I've already started on this, so we're into the design. I've probably got about halfway through. There's another flower that's going to come up here. This one started, getting into our greens, into the base. Another flower. And as the flower comes up against the sky, you can start to change colors up against the sky. Keep some of the blue of the original primer, work in some lighter colors for clouds or sunlight, and then back down to the ground again. So you're constantly moving your way around the barrel. There might be some other flowers in the garden you want to bring out, kind of a background. And then if you really want some contrast, throw some red on there. That red and yellow usually gives you a pretty good contrast.
Thanks, Steve. That's a great picture you painted on the side of our rain barrel. Now you want to install the actual rain barrel at your house. You'll want to find a nice location where it's easier for you to get at. You are going to want to install a couple of cinder blocks underneath the barrel to raise it up so that you can use gravity flow for the water to come out, and you have enough room to hook up your garden hose to the spigot. Then you're going to want to install the downspout off of your rain gutters. You're going to want to cut it off and then insert it into the top of the rain barrel. And then you're also going to want to install the overflow to make sure that it drains into a location that's not going to get close to the foundation of your house. Now your rain barrel is installed, ready to receive water when it rains. Then you can use the water to water your shrubs or your gardens.